A week ago today, I birthed my first baby. And if this isn't a positive birthing story, I don't know what is. I'm here to tell you all about the day. Take it away, DJ Today.
And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. To touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man to think I am at all. Oh, no, no, no. I'm a rocket man. A rocket man, burning on his fuse of air alone.
Good morning, Vietnam. We've just watched that movie, so that's why I'm saying it. Wednesday last week started as any other ordinary day. My due date was on Monday, so we were a few days out of due date territory. So I was really interested to see what position my body was in if I was ready to birth my baby, because I was having lots of little signs. Today could be the day. So we are on the way to Paddington, which is about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive. So we are a bit of a distance from the hospital. If you've seen some of the previous videos, we discussed changing from William Harvey to a hospital that we were comfortable with. My previous midwife was absolutely adamant we weren't being referred by her. So we had to refer ourselves, and luckily we got into St. Mary's, which is one of the best midwifery hospitals in the whole of the UK. So we are very lucky and blessed for it. However, I've been having contractions for the last 9 days since Valentine's Day.
One contraction an hour, right? Something like that?
Yeah, like it just very uncomfortable pains. I feel like the baby's getting lower, period pains, dull aches, all the symptoms. Yesterday I went to the toilet 3 times. I was like, my bowel's emptying for some reason. But everybody's journey is different. Sometimes, like my sister-in-law, she turned up to the hospital and they were like, you're having contractions already. She had no idea. So what we've done is we've decided to take the car. We've got the baby car seat in the back. This could be the start of our birthing video, which is really exciting. So I thought I'd quickly pop on here just to speak to you guys about it. Yeah, we've got our hospital bags. Because we're having placenta peels and stem cells, we needed to bring those boxes with the ice in them and my colostrum. So I really hope they don't melt. That's one thing we're really hoping. We put it in an ice bag. Otherwise, I've lost probably 2 weeks worth of colostrum, which sucks. But cross fingers they stay cold as ice. I suppose I'll update you guys once we've seen the midwife to find out how dilated we are. On my birth plan it actually says while I'm in active labour, I don't want to know how dilated I am because I don't want to hear failure to progress. These are some words I would like to avoid, and I'm happy for them to tell Barney. But for me personally, I feel like it will stop my progress if I hear that I'm only 3 centimetres dilated or something like that. Last time we went in, I had protein in my wee and they found out I had a bladder infection, which is very common in the last few weeks of pregnancy. So I was taking amoxicillin and I've stopped that now because I feel like I'm okay. They said to take it until the tablets have completely gone, but through every bladder infection I've had in my time, I've never finished them because I just don't feel like your body can fight it with the antibiotics, and I feel good. How are you feeling? Just quick daddy update.
If this is the day, let's freaking go. I kind of been ready for the last 3 or 4 days. Like, okay, like let's do it. So I'm actually just excited that if we get there and she says, yeah, it's go time, and it's D-Day. I actually don't know where I'm going. Yeah.
So we get to our birth centre in London, in Paddington, which is about 2 hours from our house. And we rock up and I'm telling her about my feelings. So she sits with me and she goes, would you consider a stretch and sweep? It's 3 in total, and then if it doesn't progress, then we will give you a induction. So I was always like against stretch and sweeps, but because of our situation with obviously living so far away, wanting to know how dilated I was on my cervix, I kind of was not against it, and I just trusted my instinct. My instinct was go in, check it out. And my partner was quite surprised. He was like, you sure you want this? You said you never wanted this. Anyway, they go in and have a little investigation and unfortunately my cervix was nowhere near the birth, which was crazy. They said it's really, really thick. It's probably going to be about a week. We'll book you in for Wednesday next week. So unfortunately, she could not do the stretch and sweep. And I was like, okay, trust the universe and its plan. So we head home. So this is my face. Unfortunately, guys, they went to check and see how dilated I was. And I am 0. So the pains I'm getting are Braxton Hicks. And they hurt. FYI. And the baby is hitting the 4,000 mark, which means he could be potentially 8.8 pounds centile range. Anyway, I'll show it here.
Have you farted?
Yes, I have, but
Bloody hell.
I know, it's awful.
Oh my lord.
Anyway, I'm gassy, I feel it. I can't understand how I'm 0% dilated. It's just going to be a waiting game until the 3rd of March, which is next week Wednesday, and I'll be 12 days overdue. So
that smells like a McDonald's egg McMuffin.
Okay. Well, having a contraction
Actually, it
now.
doesn't smell like that.
Anyway, I'm gonna get off here now because I'm having some kind of pain. Oh, it's just very uncomfortable.
It's gonna be a big fart, isn't it?
It might be gas.
I'm stuck in it forever. Wish me luck.
And that evening we did everything in our power to induce labour. So I did the bouncing on the ball, the clary sage bath, the curry foods, the sex, the raspberry leaf tea, everything in our power. Went to bed and 2 a.m. comes and I'm woken up by this dull period, like solid pain, and it comes in waves. So it was like, and then it we all know what that is. So I'm starting to count the contractions just to see if it goes away again, because you get all weird feelings when you're pregnant. And we were told to head over if the contractions were too intense. So I wake him up, I'm on all fours. Barney's like, oh my god, are you okay? I was like, honey, she did something because these are contractions. So we called the hospital and they said, listen, it doesn't sound like you're far along yet, but come in and we'll give you a look over. So off we set on our travels. Back in the car, less than 5-6 hours. So she did something. I realised I was messaging my sister-in-law in America because she was awake, and she was like, I think you should wake up Barney. I was like, no, it's fine. I had a little bit of trickle come out of what as well. I was like, why do I keep having trickles? They're more active when I'm moving around, actually. I'm going to have one in a second now. Here it goes.
Let's go.
An hour and 28 minutes until we're at, I think we'll get there sooner, to be honest. I think we'll get there in an hour.
I'm not breaking the speed limit.
The TENS machine is amazing. What was I saying? I went to the bathroom and I had my show, and I haven't had any show. It was like pinky. And I was like, oh my god, a bit of blood just came out. And it just went whoop, like a period, but like a very light period. She was going to give me obviously the sweep. She said she failed the sweep, but she did something.
You did something.
Only 1 centimetre dilated. Just
That in tune with my body and knew something was up. I said it yesterday. I was like, there's no way. It's starting. I can feel it. Contractions are every 5 to 3 minutes. I think I'm only 3 and 10 now. So we've been told to go for a long walk, and it's going to be a long day. Let's do this. Let's have a baby. She goes in, has a look, and good news is I was 1 centimetre dilated. Yeah! So I was really happy with that. She, on the other hand, was not happy with that. Go for a walk. Let's get this thing moving. I want you to surprise me. That's what she gave me, and I love a challenge. So she was like, take these 2 Codeines and go for a long walk. Go get some supplies, because apparently you picked up all the wrong supplies, and we will just keep an eye on you. The good news was the birth centre was really, really quiet, so they gave us a room where normally they would send you home. So she was like, we should be sending you home right now. You shouldn't be here, but we're just going to overlook this and watch. We'll put you into the smallest room and we'll see how things progress. So off we set on our stair walks, and it was like four flights.
walking up and down the stairs.
We've been told it's like an hour of exercise to move things
An
along.
hour's walk to try and, yeah, move things along. The rocking motion is supposed to wiggle the baby down.
Breathe in for 4, out for 8, breathe in for 4, out for 8. It was on hypernatal as well, wasn't it? Hypnonatal.
Hypnobirthing.
Hypnobirthing.
Hypnonatal.
And then we got to Tesco's to pick up supplies. I entered that place and the heat just hit me and I just was like, whoa, this is not good. I'm going to throw up. And I chucked up like the 16-year-old self used to back in the day, this pregnant woman. And I just had like 2 ambulance members like standing outside just watching me chuck up. They didn't even ask if I needed any help. So my partner comes running out, is holding my hair back. We don't have this on camera and I'm kind of glad that you guys don't have to see me chuck up because it wasn't a pretty sight. Just an amazing update. Had the codeine and the paracetamol and it's made me feel very, very dizzy. I've never reacted well to codeine. I keep saying I've got my tensor machine, which I think is doing more for me right now than this codeine shit. In nearly 5 minutes is my last contraction, so yeah, here we go. We then head back to the birthing centre and we're given our room.
It's 12:50. We've been here since 5:45 a.m. So we've basically been here for like 6.5 hours. How are you feeling?
Nauseous. Really nauseous. I feel like the nauseousness is worse than the contractions right now. The consistency to want to be sick. And it's horrible. Anything I'm trying to eat, I can't keep down. So they're going to give me injection to stop the nausea so I can eat something because I haven't eaten any because my energy levels are really low.
All right, to be continued.
So we try and sleep, but we get so much interruption for the morning. So like the midwives change at 8 o'clock. So the midwives came in, introduced themselves, and then the person comes in for food. What do you want for lunch? What do you want for dinner? So I was like, I just want to sleep. I just want to sleep. And you know when you just feel like you're going to get disturbed the whole time? So I'm laying there trying to sleep and I've got like one eye just like, oh, the door's going to go again. And funnily enough, the contractions had stopped after I was sick. So that was weird. So we were kind of analysing, let's go for another walk around 5 o'clock and see if they kickstart again. So off we set again on our little walk, and yes, they started. We were doing squats on benches and step ups. I think people thought I was mental, but that is a great way to get everything open and moving. So it looks like we're in New York City, but we have not transported to New York City in labour. We are indeed in Hyde Park. We've been told to go for our 3rd walk of the day. Contractions are getting stronger now. Touch wood. God, imagine if they haven't. So I'm going to do some step-ups now and some squats to get things pumping even more.
So it's been how long? It's about 4:30. We've been in the hospital for about 12 hours. Cold, wintry, but sunny. You look glorious. To try and get this freaking baby out. Hurry the hell up, child.
I'm an impatient person. And we came back and they never left. The contractions were there to stay. So it was kind of tough for the fact that I had lack of sleep. I probably slept 2 hours in the space of, I'd say 24 hours. And I haven't really slept since.
Jamie's received her dinner. It looks fantastic. We've got a lovely gourmet dish of chicken tikka rice and peppers, I believe. I got nothing. Fantastic. So I'm going to go out and get some food. And we might even run a bath for Jamie because contractions are about 4 minutes apart. It's currently 6 at night time. We've been here for 12 hours. How are you feeling?
Exhausted. Like, it gives me whiplash, this child, as well.
I'm not sure if whiplash is the right word,
It is the right word. It's a saying. Whiplash, like you're giving me whiplash. That's what you would say with like dating boys. It's the same kind of thing. Anyway, every 4 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes. And you know what? I'm not craving Lucozade. I'm not craving or apple juice or anything. I'm just craving savoury foods now.
Savoury foods. What would you like? If I'm going to go out and get bits, do you want some popcorn chicken? KFC? Would you like some popcorn, full stop, from Tesco?
No, you know what I want?
What would you like?
My baby out of my tummy. My beautiful. You think expecting it's going to be fast, enduring healing. Well, we're in the birth centre, and they don't like to intervene too much, which is fine, but there's a lot of intervening.
Yeah, they've come into our room like once every half an hour, basically. You were trying to sleep and they kept coming in.
Yeah, I was trying to sleep to like...
That ball is so loud, it's like an earthquake.
Good looking. Wet myself twice already today.
Fit.
Fab. Just the life, the luxury of pregnancy. I kind of want them to move it along back. I'm going to get Barney to fist me in a second.
Jesus Christ! Jamie's currently rolling on the ball while we watch Eat, Pray, Love.
And that's a contraction every 4 minutes now, which is good.
4 minutes every contraction.
Strong and they're lower. Oh my god, they're lower.
You got this.
What's your favourite movie? Oxytocin.
The following day comes. I've probably had about 2 hours sleep that night. I don't know how I even got sleep. That was pretty incredible. I'm begging her for an intervention, and this is where I break down, because I have been in labour for nearly 30 hours and I've had enough. I'm like, oh my gosh, nobody seems to want to help me. They just want to see these contractions speeding up. The pain is getting stronger, but the contractions aren't speeding up. What is going on? Please check me. Please do an internal examination. No, we're not going to do an internal examination. The last time I checked you, you were 1 centimetre and it looked like you had a long way to go. This is why you should be going home. And at that point in time, I just lost it. I said to Barney, if one more person turns around and says something like this, I'm going to lose it.
Contractions are steaming ahead now. 1 in every 5 minutes or so. And they're super painful now.
Yeah, and I just had a little cry. Why did I cry in this place?
Because people keep coming into the room and saying negative things. They're saying that we should have gone home, or, you know, if someone was in your position, we'd have told them to go home, but you live so far away. It's like, okay, so, and that's happened a few times. I've had a word with them, so yeah, that was nothing again.
I'm going to put a bit of makeup on because I always feel better with a little bit of love and love and care. Oh, God, that was horrible, that one.
Anyway, new midwives change around and this midwife assistant comes in and she's like, if you think this hurts now, you wait till later. Barney's face just drops. I've already had a go at Barney to be like, can you just please stand up for me? No one is positive. Obviously, they haven't read the birthing plan, because on the birthing plan, the first line is, we want a positive birthing experience. We don't want any negative words to hit us during this labour. No one's read it. So he goes out, he goes, has any of you read the birthing plan? Oh, well, we've just changed shifts, we're about to. Well, you just came in and upset my girlfriend, and we're trying to keep this as positive as possible to pump that oxytocin. So you obviously haven't read what she actually wants and what she desires. She wants a water birth, she wants it to be all positive, and you're coming in and saying this stuff like, oh, the pain will just get worse. What are you doing? At that point in time, I never see that midwife again, by the way. I have these 2 young girls come in and they were like my angels. They had like a shiny ring around their heads. If I look back now, I'm like, yeah, that's how I see them. Anyway, she came in, she went, I know the other midwife didn't want to give you an examination, but I want to give you an examination and see what's going on down there. So off she goes, pops the gloves on, comes in, and she's like, well, your cervix is paper thin. So that is ready to be stretched out now to 10 centimetres. She goes, you're 2 centimetres dilated. But if I pull it down a little bit, I can make it a 3. So she was like, I'm really happy with the results because I think it will be on the way up now. So I was like, yes, positive news. They're not going to send us home. That's all I kind of cared about. I was like, please don't send us home. 2 hours there, 2 hours back. That's 4 hours of traveling. I really don't want to do that. But I just said to her, listen, I need to sleep. You need to give me something to sleep. I haven't slept in so long. I'm constipated. So she was like, I'll give you something for the constipation, which didn't work, by the way. And then the second, she was like, we've got diamorphine or pethidine.
I was just prepping the food
Oh yeah, but they give you so much cheese.
I know. Well, I'm going to put it on top of the baked beans after I've put the baked beans
So
on,
you go,
and the
so
tuna.
butter, cheese, beans, cheese, tuna on the side. Oh, here we go. That surge lasted for 45 seconds, and the last one was 3 minutes before, so you should be doing about 3 and 10 now. Jamie's just saying goodbye to her bump.
Yeah. It's gonna be so weird.
And what do you reckon, like in the next 10 hours or so, it'll be done? Been a rough few hours, hasn't it? Lots and lots of heavy contractions. But you're doing amazing.
Favourable uterus, which is great, because that means we are progressing quite quickly now.
Yeah, we've gone from 1 centimetre to 2 to 3 in, I don't know, a couple of hours. So it's happening. Service is... You got this. You're doing so well.
Our bodies were built to birth babies.
It has got very intense over the past like 2 hours. You can't talk during like your contractions at all now. It's good. It's a good thing.
Now we're gonna have some diamorphine so I can get some rest, because I need to sleep.
Diamorphine time. Woohoo! Time to get spacey. Happy?
Yeah, I'm happy that I finally get some drugs.
Drugs, baby.
You've just got to focus. It's all about that. I thought squats were bad. And deadlifts.
Pooping a person's harder. It's like 1 every 5,
Have
but
you
it's
timed it yet?
Yeah, I have. It's about 1 every 5, but they're really intense.
So it is going to make you really kind of
Drowsy.
sleepy.
Okay.
Yeah, really drowsy. So it takes the edge off, and it makes you feel it a little bit differently. Okay, so it's still going to come. It doesn't really slow it down at all. You're still going to feel them, but you're going to be able to sleep in between, and then you will wake up for them, and then you'll quickly go back to sleep again. Okay.
Cool.
So I'm going to do 1 injection.
Yeah.
But I've got 2. Okay, so 1 injection, change the syringe. Is what I mean.
And this is an absolute tune as well. What a song to be doing this to.
Oh, I might get tagged now on YouTube.
10-ish minutes.
So a position you recommend, like lying on the side?
On the side is good. Yeah.
I won't throw up, will I?
And you might feel a little bit nauseous, so
I've
it's good
given
to...
you an anti-sickness.
Oh, you've already done the anti-sickness, great.
I've done them both.
Nice.
And it's weird because you still feel the contractions, but you're so out of it. You just sleep through them. So I was sleeping, waking up every 10 minutes, having the contraction, going, "Nah," and then passing out again. And that was when we were truly on our way to meeting our baby. Because as I started to come round about 3 hours later, I'd had a nice 3-hour kip. I was just laying there, about to get up, change my pad because I was like bleeding a little bit, and I had a pop.
Jamie's waters have now broke. Exciting! All by themselves. She was just lying down, having a contraction, and we heard. We were like, "What is that noise?" And Jamie was like, "My waters broke." I was like, "What?" She lifted the covers, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
It's soaking.
Your pants were when you took your pants off. I was like, "Wow."
But except I was laying down. It would have been quite funny if I was walking.
Onto the floor.
Like a movie.
Still got some time to go, but things are moving, most definitely. Thumbs up if you're excited.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And on DJ to Diapers, I want to bring on my partner because this was the point where I kind of went a bit loopy with all the Pethidine in my system, water's breaking, and we did a transfer. So welcome to DJ to Diapers, the labour video unedited.
Hey.
So welcome to DJ to Diapers.
Thank you.
How was my birthing experience, number 1?
What point are we starting at? Which trauma? Which part of the trauma?
So I've just had the Pethidine.
Okay.
And
so you've gone sleepy.
And I've gone
Like a
sleepy.
mint.
Do I need a mint?
No, I do. I've eaten onions, so I need a mint. Yeah, but you were still having contractions every 10 minutes, maybe less than 10 minutes, every like 6 to 8 minutes, which were waking you up
but it wasn't nearly as intense. You were just like breathing them out. So you'd be asleep, passed out, and you'd wake up and I just hear your breath intensify. I'd stop whatever I was watching and look at you and you go for like a minute and then you go.
Did my waters break during me sleeping? Or
Yeah.
had I gone?
I was actually going to the loo. I got up out of the chair that I was sat next to you in to go to the loo. And then as I was walking to the loo, I heard that. And I was like, what the fuck was that? And you stirred and you were like, my water's just broke. I was like, what? And you were like, my water's just broke. I was like, okay. Does that mean the baby's coming? And then, yeah, you stood up. We took your knickers off to check. And it wasn't what I thought. I thought it was literally just like water. It's like jelly. Just so that you know.
It's
all,
not
like, future
jelly.
dads,
I
it's
don't know why
like a
you keep saying
substance.
jelly. It was
in your pad.
and
It
water.
was jelly.
And
like
water.
This, like raspberry jelly. It was odd.
Okay. Anyway,
I know,
so
yeah,
that happened.
Doesn't sound appetizing.
We then got transferred to the birthing pool suite, which was like a spa. It was lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were like, your waters are broken. Finally, something's happening. Let's get you in an actual birthing room. Because up to this point, we were in Harry Potter's cupboard under the stairs. No, it wasn't that bad, actually. Well, yeah, it was an ensuite room. We can't complain.
We had an ensuite room, but there was this hospital where they checked the baby over after the baby is born. And they were like, what if you don't lift it up because it's broken? But to get into the toilet, every time I kept scratching my belly. So I had all these scratches on my belly. Didn't I? Because I kept like rubbing it and getting it
knocking
caught.
into it, yeah.
Oh, and there were so many times I had to like shoot to the toilet, and then I'd knock it, and I'd be like, damn.
We have moved room. Jamie's bed.
Don't say that.
Jamie's on the phone to her mother. We're now in a much bigger room. Jamie is excited with this awesome bath, which actually has its own Bluetooth speaker in it. Our speaker is currently playing, but this has a Bluetooth speaker in it. Jamie's pacing, and she's doing a tour for her mum right now.
So we get to the birthing room. This is the most important part of the actual video. Me actually birthing our baby.
Okay.
And I remember going in, and I remember saying, can we run the bath? And they said, no, we have to wait a little bit. And I said, no, I want you to run the bath. I'm ready. Do you remember me saying that?
I do, yeah, because it took a while to run the bath as well. It took about 15 minutes to fill it up and get it to the right temperature that you wanted. And we set up some music. I got some drinks out.
They did it way too hot. And I was like, this is way too hot for me.
Yeah,
which was
it's
so
boiling.
weird because they were
Normally,
like,
yeah.
this is the normal temperature we do.
Normally you have showers that like I can't even get in. Scalding hot. But yeah, and then you got in the pool and you turned into a Buddha.
And I turned into a Buddha. We did this meditation playlist, and it was beautiful, bouncing from left to right, really embracing the time where I wasn't contracting, and then like head focused contract, and I started to bear down quickly. Active labor was about an hour and a half, and my pushing was about 20 minutes, roughly.
If you want to hear the music that we had for the Zen part, it's called Zen Jungle on JD's Spotify.
We changed the music up when I was ready for the pushing stage. And it was quite funny because looking back, we went through all the music we went through, and we were like, okay, so how many tracks do you think you did for pushing? And it was about...
You said 7, I said 12, and it was 23. I skipped a few that came on and you were like, I don't want this song, change it.
Oh, right, there
That
you
happened
go.
a couple of times.
Okay.
But yeah, just under an hour probably of like the pushing playlist being on. That doesn't necessarily mean that you were pushing during all those songs.
Where are we at, Jamie? Pushing stage. Doing so well, honestly. You can feel his head. Oh my God. How amazing is that? You can see the baby's head where she's pushing. See? You're so close. That's what I'm saying. You're doing so well.
I can feel his head. Is that his
Yeah,
head?
don't poke his head too much.
It's so soft.
Yeah, don't push it. Babs, don't push his head.
No, I know. I want you to feel it.
Right, now you gotta stop.
I'm sure.
No, you're not allowed to. Gasina.
Ah! Ow!
Jamie can like kind of feel what's going on, but as a guy, you're just kind of like coaching, cheerleading. Yeah, you're good. Keep going. Have some gas in there. Yeah, you got this. Push. Like, you know, you're just trying to time manage. That's what you're trying to do.
When the baby came, what did you feel like?
I just cried my eyes out. We hadn't slept properly for like 48 hours. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, a baby comes out of the water. And you're just like, and you hear it in my voice, like as soon as the baby comes out.
Went,
You go like, and I'm like, and that's it. And then
because you didn't see anything, did you?
I can't see any. Like all I'm going off.
You
Is
saw my
what
tits.
The midwife is like
bent over.
I can see the head. I can see the head. Oh, the head's coming out, and then she's just kind of generically going like, "He's here." So good. You got this. You have got this. And yeah, it was insane. It's just a magical moment, an intense moment, because up to that point, you're so stressed out as a partner because you're so helpless. You just sit there watching your loved one in like serious amounts of pain and constantly. Like the contractions are so close together at the end, it may as well be like one long contraction, and you're just literally constantly going like, "Somebody help me!" And I'm like, I literally can't do anything. So that's the horrible bit.
Try to listen. I may not get you because it's so low now. But don't trust.
You got this, babe. Push more. Push.
No. Hey, he's here. What's the time, Daddy?
Oh! What she said? What she said? Oh my God. Thanks. Yeah. Oh my God. What the fuck? Oh my God. Can you hear him? Can you hear him? Can you hear him? Yeah? My little man, you alright? My little man?
Was there any point did you think it was going to change for worse? Or did you think I got this?
After the birth, when we couldn't hear him, he didn't breathe for like a minute.
Yeah, so we
like,
didn't actually
oh my
capture
God.
that bit on the video.
No, you kind of do. You hear me saying, "Can you hear him? Can you hear him?" Like I can't hear him.
Just gonna change you with it.
It's amazing. You alright? You alright, buddy?
I mean, it's in this way.
There he is. There he is. Give us a cry. You know, he's just come out. He looks a bit blue. He's just come out of the water. Like the lighting, obviously, around there is blue as well. So I was like, he looks blue. He doesn't look red. He doesn't look like he's getting any oxygen. I started having a bit of a meltdown and was like, I can't hear him. But yeah, ended up being fine. So no point. I thought you were in trouble. Otherwise, they would have said when they had the mirror underneath your cooter.
Except for when I said I wanted an epidural, I kind of got to
Well,
that point.
yeah. You
How
were
quick
exhausted.
was? Where were we on the time of the baby being born
When
and
you
me
are-
asking for the epidural?
Probably 40 minutes later, you had the baby, or 35 minutes later.
Really?
The midwives before, the younger midwives, they were like, we haven't seen too much progression, so we're going to do a changeover of midwives. Then the new midwife comes in, and literally in 5 minutes, she's like, I can see the head.
Edna was hilarious. She'd had loads of experience. She wasn't as engaged as the other girls who were quite, I feel like they hadn't been there that long. They were young midwives. Whereas Edna was very experienced. She was just on the computer. And I kept looking over, being like, why the fuck are you over there when I'm about to birth my baby? Can you be involved, please? And that's where I saw a piece of shit float on by. And in the corner of my eye, I went, will someone clean this shit up out of the bath?
I was really close to just scooping my hand in and throwing it.
But I mean, they were like solid, so it's fine. And this is our son, Rocket, born on the 25th of February, 2022. This is him. Say hi to the camera.
And I think it's gonna be a long, long time to touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man I think I am at all. Oh, no, no, no. I'm a rocket man. Rocket man, burning on his fuse of hair alone.
It's the first nappy change. Hilariously, we're gonna film you getting your first shitter removed. Meconium.
Is that what I was feeling in my tummy? Okay, time to do a belly update. It's been 1 week. It's exactly 1 week. It's Friday today. We have the baby on Friday at 8 p.m. tonight. How 1 week changes, eh? But thank you for joining DJ to Diapers. The next video will be talking about going back to work when we have this little munchkin and how we're going to balance work and motherhood. So stay locked on, subscribe, share to your friends, and thank you so much for joining the most important probably day of our lives. Bye! Say bye!
I am at all.